Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we are very fortunate that we have with us His Grace Dayananda Prabhu. Dayanand Prabhu came in Krishna consciousness in very early days when Srila Prabhupada was just trying to establish Krishna consciousness in West. Srila Prabhupada first established first temple in 1966 in New York, and then he went to San Francisco. And in January, Srila Prabhupada 1967 came in San Francisco. In February, Prabhuji met Srila Prabhupada, and immediately after meeting Srila Prabhupada, he was so inspired, and he and his wife, both of them, joined ISKCON, and they have been dedicated servants of Srila Prabhupada since 1967. On instruction of Srila Prabhupada, he went to Los Angeles and he established first Los Angeles ISKCON temple, which later on became one of the most famous and vibrant temples in ISKCON world. Srila Prabhupada made Los Angeles as the western headquarters of ISKCON. Since then, Prabhuji also came to India, served in India for a couple of years. Last 20 years, he has been busy writing many wonderful books. Last 2 years, he has written very nice book on environmental, the solution for environmental issues. How by Vedic culture, by Krishna conscious culture, how actually we can solve all problems of world, and especially the environmental problems. He has a great desire to see all ISKCON temples around the world become vibrant, filled with many enthusiastic devotees. And he has written this book, hoping that by this book he can attract a young generation to take up to Krishna consciousness and serve in mission of Srila Prabhupada. So this is a beautiful book. He has compiled with a lot of research and a lot of hard work the environmental solution. And he has also designed one course, 15 hours course, solution to environmental disasters, which can be implemented in various schools and universities. So we are very honored that Prabhu is there with us. So let us welcome His Grace Dayanand Prabhu to Sri Srinitaya Gauranga temple by loudly chanting 3 times. Haribo! Haribo! Haribo!
Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunnityam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Savadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Dutapata Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ganatanvitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamshcha Nashta Praishwa Bhadreshu Nityanga Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasating Vyasam Bhakto Jai Mudiraye. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So that means the associates of Mahaprabhu, Gaur Bhakta, all of the Gaur Bhaktas. So you are also Gaur Bhaktas. So Jaya Gaur Bhakta. I have Sadhu Sangha with all Gaur Bhaktas. So Acharya Ratna Prabhu said, maybe a little, I like to see over. So as Acharya Ratna Prabhu said, I like to see, I'm hoping, it's my dream to make a contribution for recruiting devotees. Radhe Shyam Prabhu, I think everybody knows Radhe Shyam Prabhu. He's done a wonderful, wonderful job in India with the voice program. But in Europe and United States, North America, South America, we don't have a similar program. I think Radhe Shyam Prabhu is going to United States to try to put something in place. But so Acharya Ratna Prabhu said that I'd like to see all the temples vibrant. But actually, I'd like to see all the temples like this one, because this temple is vibrant. I see a lot of vibrance here. Wonderful, wonderful devotees, you, all of you. So please bless me so that I can assist with this project to bring your same vibrance to temples in the United States. I want to see they have enough money to construct temples, but sometimes not enough devotees to bring vibrance to Mangala and other programs. So thank you very much for your association. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. And also when I give class, I like to mention that I'm very appreciative of the representative of Parampara. That's the temple authorities. So Acharya Ratna Prabhu and other temple authorities, they are local representatives of Parampara. This is the way I was taught in ISKCON. Sometimes things change a little bit, but this is my understanding of the local authorities. Of course, we have GVCs and gurus. We follow all these authorities, but they're not here. I don't see any GVCs or gurus here now, but I see one guru, Acharya Ratna Prabhu. He is the local Parampara representative. So, verse. I was assigned, this is chapter 10, canto 10. Please forgive my strange accent. I am from the United States, so I hope you understand. Let me know if I'm speaking too close or something, if you can understand clearly. I was assigned chapter 7 through, verses 7 through 12, canto 10, chapter 61. So you have it on your phones or something. Oh, here. Dasam Tasam. No? What is this? 12. What? Vyastyash? Is that it? I wasn't prepared. So now I'll have a little difficulty. Vyastyash Chitrakesh Chitraketush Cha Vasuman Dravidah Kratu Jambhavatya Jambhavatya Suta Yete Sambodhyai Sambodhya Pitri Sammata Vyayash Chitraketuscha Vasuman Dravida Krato Jambhavatya Suta Yete Sambadhya Pitri Sammata. Ladies? This is the last in a series. I should still do 7 through 12. Yes. So this is the last in a series of names. So I'm not going to do the recitation of the English synonyms, but I'll just say it's not Vijayas, it's Vijayas. It's actually a misspelling in the book because in the English synonyms it says Vijaya, and in the translation also Vijaya, which makes sense. This is a common name, Vijaya. So Vijaya Chitraketu Cha, so these are names, Vijaya and Chitraketu, Vasuman Dravida Kratu, and again names Vasuman, Dravida, and Kratu. Jambavatya of Jambavati, Suta, sons, he indeed ate these, Samba Adya, headed by Samba, Pitri by their father, Sammata, favored. So this is verse 12, and I'm going to be covering verses 7 through 12. I'm going to read the translations. I'll just read 7 through 12 slowly, but not as responsive or not. So translation by Srila Prabhupada. Among Lord Krishna's wives, each of whom had 10 sons, I previously mentioned 8 principal queens. I shall now recite for you the names of those 8 queens' sons, headed by Pradyumna. The first son of Queen Rukmini was Pradyumna, and also born of her were Charudeshna, Sudeshna, and the powerful Charudeha, along with Sucharu, Charugupta, Bhadracharu, Charuchandra, Vicharu, and Charu, the 10th. None of those sons of Lord Hari was less than his father. Verses 10 through 12. The 10 sons of Satyabhama were Bhanu, Subhanu, Svarabhanu, Prabhanu, Bhanuman, Chandrabhanu, Brihadbhanu, Atibhanu, the 8th. Sri Bhanu and Pratibhanu, Samba, Sumitra, Purujit, Shatyajit, Shatajit, Sahasrajit, Vijaya, Chitraketu, Vasuman, Durga, and Kratu were the sons of Jambavati. These 10, headed by Samba, were their father's favorites. I was just speaking last night with Partha about sometimes the parents have favorites. Of course, the parents love all their children, and maybe they don't tell the children, but maybe somebody's favorite. So these 10, headed by Samba, were their father's favorites. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Srila Jiva Goswami translates the compound Pitri Sammata in this verse as highly regarded by their father. The word also indicates that these sons, like the others already mentioned, were regarded as being just like their glorious father, Lord Krishna. Timirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakturanyatyangnena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So this section, this chapter, discusses Krishna's family. And later, there is some political intrigue. And I'll give you, as they say, the spoiler, meaning I will spoil the end of the story, that Baldev kills Rukmini. So now you'll be disappointed when you read that I've already told you. So some political intrigue. Lord Krishna descends Pritharanaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samsthapanartaya samphalam yuge yuge. So Krishna comes sometimes Krishna comes to have leelas with his intimate associates, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, with Srimati Radharani, all the gopis, Sakhis, and all his friends, Arjuna, Yudhishthir, all the Pandavas. So all these intimate relationships he has, loving relationships. But he also comes and he thrills us with these conflicts Because in this world, we love conflict. Everyone loves to, meaning I'm talking about now the world of the materialists. They love to read about conflict. So there's now conflict, some war, maybe in Middle East or in Europe. So people want to know about this war. So this side is, what are they doing? What is the other side doing? Or they want to read about some story. There are novels, fiction, different stories. There's in the West, Romeo and Juliet. And in the East, there's, what is it? Layla Majnun. So, what? Why are you laughing? This is a fact. No, this is Romeo and Juliet, Layla Majnun. This is famous all over. So these stories, they have conflict. So the conflict in the romance of Romeo and Juliet, and in the end they die. So because of this love they have, they die. So of course this is not real love, but still, Layla Majnun cannot get Layla. So this is what? I don't understand. Why is it funny? Okay. I didn't mean for it to be funny. So, but these are the stories in the world that there's conflict and frustration. So everyone wants to hear these different conflicts, war, and this is the entire everything in the nature, the spider and the fly, and the lion and his prey. So always conflict, and both fighting and romance. In the materialistic love, there is always conflict, tension. The man and the woman, somehow the man marries the wrong woman, or the woman marries the wrong man, or something happens. There is conflict. So, and this is very interesting. There are so many in the Western world. There are the Greek tragedies, and then in the English speaking world, there are Shakespeare's tragedies and stories of kings and wars, and then there are the romance stories. So all of these stories, even comedy, it has conflict. There has to be tension. So people love conflict. This is apparently part of our human nature. So Krishna paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam. So vinash, he destroys, he conquers the dushkrit, these evildoers. So Baldev, he kills Rukmini. So this is the story of political intrigue, of family, Krishna's family, political intrigue, and of this conflict or fight. So devotees, sometimes people think, or devotees think, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only demonstrated these intimate leelas with Radharani, with gopis, this kind of behavior. Only Vrindavan pastimes. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave many examples of, he gave many examples of other leelas. Mahaprabhu was absorbed in the Bhagavat, entire Bhagavat. And this is the Bhagavad culture. We are told, Srila Prabhupada and the Parampara told us to study Srimad Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada, when he went to America, he first brought Srimad Bhagavatam, actually before Bhagavad Gita. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the basis of this culture. So here we are studying Krishna's family and this list of names and political intrigue. But just think about how in modern culture there's such an interest, in my opinion, because of democracy. If you just think a bit with me. Previously, before independence in India, there was not exactly, well, there was not at all democracy. It was a different system. So maybe people had a local king or a jamindar or something like this. And the relationship between, I've seen actually, in still people, especially in Rajasthan and other places, they still have affection for the local king. So they feel that relationship. And the king is representative of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, Krishna. He's supposed to be. But in the perfect situation, just like in Jaipur, Jai Singh installed Radha Govinda. So there's the king, people love the king, and there's Radha Govinda. They love Radha Govinda. So now people love Narendra Modi. They're always talking about Modi this, Modi that, and BJP and Congress. We don't talk about Congress anymore, I guess. And Admi and communists. And so democracy brings this kind of conversation among the people, very mundane conversation. Of course, I'm not saying that the previous system was perfect. It's not perfect. How we are human beings. How do we have a perfect system? But with democracy, and I'm speaking, it's not my speculation. This is Prabhupada called it demon crazy. Democracy is demon crazy. So he was not appreciative of democracy. And I'm trying to give some examples that it distracts the minds of the people. The people start to think, because I know, and especially in the United States, people are always thinking about who is the president. So people on the left, they want the liberal president. People on the right, they want the conservative president. So one is Trump, another one is Biden. So when Trump is there, all the other people are very disappointed, and they're talking, making jokes, talking among themselves. Everyone is complaining, or they are happy. So completely absorbed in these governmental activities because they have one vote, because they are told, you have vote. You can vote. So you can make a change. Everyone together, we'll all somehow make a change. All the Sudras will decide what to do. These people, common people, are stupid. I'm not talking about India. Common people here are wonderful. But in the United States, I have personal experience. Common people are stupid. So all the stupid people will come together. They will make one vote, each person, and collectively they'll select somebody. And everybody will constantly meditate. Every day, read the news. President is doing this. President is doing that. But here in Srimad Bhagavatam class, we are reading about the family of Krishna. And Krishna is doing this. And Baldev is doing that. So this is the process that we follow from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the perfect example. Of course, we cannot imitate Mahaprabhu, but we can follow his example that he was absorbed in Bhagavat Leela, all the Leelas in Bhagavat. And if somebody says, oh no, only Radha Krishna, because he is, Krishna appeared as in the mood of Radharani in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But no, then why did we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, that one time he came into the mood of Nrsingadev. So Srivas Thakur was reading Vishnu Sahasranam. Then he says, Nrsinga, Mahaprabhu exhibited the mood of Nrsingadev. So this is Vishnu. It's not Krishna. Vishnu Leela. Not Krishna Leela. Not Madhurya Ras. So Mahaprabhu, and we find Vishnu Leela, Ram Leela in Bhagavat. So every part of Bhagavat, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, they report only, not every moment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. We don't know what he was doing all this time, but we know that he loved to discuss Bhagavat with Swarup Damdar, with Ramananda Roy and others. So we know that he was absorbed in Bhagavat Leela. And this culture, even beyond Gaudiya culture, the entire Vaishnava culture is based on Bhagavat. All the Bhagavat Leelas. Otherwise, why do you see Prahlad Maharaj? Everyone in India knows Prahlad Maharaj, the story of Prahlad Maharaj. So where does this, of course, other literatures as well, other Puranas and other literature speak about Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu, but Bhagavatam Leela stories, that is the basis of Vaishnava culture. Hundreds of millions of people, hundreds of millions. That's a very large number. There, in the United States, there are 330 million people. But Vaishnava in India, of course, it's a culture, they're mixture. Vaishnava, maybe somebody is Vaishnava and also Shakta or Shaiva, something, a lot of mixture. That's natural with culture. But in general, Vaishnava is the majority. So hundreds of millions, much more than population of the United States. And one scholar has estimated that Vaishnavas are about 2/3 of all Hindus. So Hindus, 1.2 billion, Vaishnavas, maybe 800 million. So 800 million is almost as many as the European Union and North America population. So Vaishnavas have a huge culture. They represent a lot. We are not the only Vaishnavas. Even ISKCON are not the only Vaishnavas, and even Northeast India or Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And we acknowledge for some Parayas, others So huge culture. And Prabhupada explains that this material world is only one part of all souls. The majority of living entities, the majority of jivas, or not jivas, but atma, the majority of spiritual souls are with Krishna. So that is the majority. So we represent not just a few people, we represent this entire culture. And what is our weapon? Because we're participating in this fight. Krishna, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam. So Arjuna, he was fighting with his bow and arrow in the battle of Kurukshetra. But Prabhupada explains that Krishna came with Sudarshan Chakra and Ram with bow and arrow, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with what? What is his weapon? Sankirtan. Sankirtan is the weapon. So when we take part in the Sankirtan movement, it is a kind of an attack on the opponents. And I submit that the major opponent at this time is the materialistic culture. Of course, traditionally, we are against the Mayavadis, the impersonalists, or Nirvishesha, as we say in the Namaste Saraswati Devi, Nirvishesha. So we are traditionally Vaishnavas, don't like the Mayavadis, Advaitavadis. But the bigger threat is the materialists. And Prabhupada began to speak about materialistic philosophy. In ancient India, it was called Lokayata. Lokayata is the philosophy of Charvaka Muni. And sometimes he is criticized that you should just eat ghee. In other words, sense gratification. But we have no information on Lokayata. The only information we have is from non-Lokayata sources, like Buddhist doctrine or some Advaitin. He has written about Lokayata, but nothing from Lokayata. So my conclusion, forgive me if I have a conclusion, but my conclusion is they were totally wiped out. The materialists were wiped out. Maybe Buddhists, okay. Mayavadis, Advaitavadis, okay, we can tolerate. Vaishnavas, Dvaitas, Vishishtadvaitas, all these we can tolerate. Yoga followers, but materialists we cannot tolerate. They reject any form of the Supreme. No Brahman, no Paramatma, no Bhagavan, nothing. Not even Buddhists. Buddhists are Shunyavadi also. But at least Buddhists, they have some idea that you should stop sense gratification. You should try to have some values, some principles. But the materialists, Lokayata, they cannot see anything but sense gratification. So this is modern culture, Lokayata culture. So I think that we have good example from the past in India that there was Lokayata philosophy and somehow it was wiped out. We don't know who did this. But now we should know, here is Lokayata culture, modern culture, and we Vaishnavas, we have the opportunity to wipe this off the map. So how will we do this? With atomic bombs? No. What is our weapon? Sankirtan. So with Sankirtan, we can attack the materialists. So we few are here. We do Sankirtan. Many devotees participate in the voice program. We're collecting more and more Sankirtan devotees around the world. ISKCON is spreading the Sankirtan movement. But the entire culture, the Vaishnava culture, is a Sankirtan culture. As I assert this concept, that the entire culture is Bhagavat culture. Our Sankirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was follower of Bhagavat. He became ecstatic when he was reading about Leelas, when he was hearing about Leelas. So Leela and Nama. Nama and Leela are very close, very closely related. When I say Jamna Tira Vanachari, Jamna Tira Vanachari, this is a name for Krishna, but it's describing a Leela. We say in Vrindavan for Mangalarti, we say Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Pravesha Nidra Chari Utto Jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva. So then all these names of Krishna. And what are these names? Mostly these names are descriptions of Leela. Gopi Parayana. Gopi Parayana. It reminds us of that Krishna is focused on the gopis. So Leela and Nama, closely related. That's our movement. And where are the Leelas? In the Bhagavatam. So based on Bhagavatam, Leela and Nama, and everywhere, all the Vaishnavas, they're celebrating the Leelas and the Namas. You hear Jairam Ji Ki in North India, sometimes in South India, Narayana. Devotees say different names for Krishna, Vishnu. So Nama is everywhere in Vaishnava society, and Leelas are everywhere based on Bhagavatam. And our weapon is to spread this Leela Nama culture that we call Sankirtan, because we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who gives that perfect example. We want to spread that same enthusiasm among all Vaishnavas, but we want collectively as a Vaishnava culture to use that huge, that will be the atomic bomb of the Vaishnavas. If the Vaishnava culture can attack the materialistic culture, the Leela Nama culture can explode and destroy the materialistic culture. What is the materialistic culture? Culture of sense gratification. So you have democracy. Are people meditating on Krishna Leela, on politics? Like here in this chapter, there's family of Krishna, political intrigue. No, they're meditating on Modi or Trump or somebody, and the families of these politicians. And they are meditating on movie actors and actresses. I know only a few names, 2, 3 names. Amitabh Bachchan, Priyanka, I forgot her last name, Chopra, and I don't know. Oh, I know this Khan something. Shahrukh. So that's it. Bus 3 I know. So see, everyone knows. So this is the modern meditation on these people. Now, if you consider, so let's be practical. Let's go back, even only just before Indian independence. The movie industry was very young in India. And many times in the beginning of movie industry, they made a lot of pictures about Leela, Prahlad Maharaj, in Bengal, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So even just before independence, what to speak of 200 years ago, 300 years. This is the Leela Nama culture in India. Leela Nama, I don't like the word India. I prefer South Asia, because India is only one country. South Asia is about 8 countries: Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, East Bengal, and maybe Burma and some other. And then it goes to Southeast Asia, Vaishnav culture, and Afghanistan. So all these at one point were part of the Southeast or South Asian culture, not just India. So this, what was my train of thought? What was I saying? Movies on Leela. Yes, prior to independence, it was simple. No democracy. So this influence of materialistic science was less. Science and technology. So science and technology, they work together. All right, this is the last thing I'll say. Up to 9 o'clock, huh? Science and technology work together. Science is materialistic. There is no mention of God, but they produce technology. So then everyone becomes attached to technology, because technology provides comfort, and in some cases it can give good health and longevity, or at least the promise of those things. So comfort, we know, technology provides comfort. So by this comfort, science and technology are bribing. They are bribing you. So if I give you 500 rupees, then you will like me. You'll say, Dayananda, he's a good person, and what he says is correct. Everything he says, almost everything. And I say, okay, I'll give you 1,000. Everything he says is correct. So this is science. Science can be defeated. It's materialist. And it's based on science and technology. They're destroying the earth. So who's creating this pollution? Yes, people are creating, but what are they creating it with? Science and technology. So will they accept the blame? No, they don't accept the blame. And will people blame them? No. Why? Because they're being bribed with comfort. Technology is bribing people to accept that science is great. So before the independence, Indian independence, science technology was less, that materialistic influence. Villages were more abundant, they're more vibrant. Then after independence, all the vibrance went out of villages, came to the cities. cities became big sources of waste and pollution. There's one joke. I love this joke. I can say it because Jayaprakash Maharaj said it. It's a little, anyway, you'll see when I tell quickly. This is in Bengal, what's his name? Birbal? No. Gopal Ban. Gopal Ban. So Gopal Ban was with the king. The king says, be quick. What is the king? The king says, what is the greatest happiness, greatest satisfaction? And Gopal Ban said, you heard the joke. Gopal Ban says, passing stool. So king says, get out. I don't want to hear you. So after a few weeks, he's okay, Gopal Ban, you come back. You know. So they're on the Ganga one day. Gopal Ban is pushing the boat through the Ganga and having a nice day out. Only the king and Gopal Ban. So king says, pull the boat over to the bank because I have to do my nature. So Gopal Ban keeps rowing. King says, Gopal Ban, pull the boat to the side on the bank. So then finally he pulls the boat over. King goes into the bushes, comes back satisfied. Gopal Ban said, see, which is better, which is best enjoyment. So when I tell this you're laughing. When I tell this in the West, people don't understand how. So here's my message from this story. My message is that even the king will respect the Ganga. Even the king of the country will not make the Ganga soiled. But in Delhi, because of this modern age, because all the people have come out of the villages, the vibrance has come out of the village into the city, and the city has become a hellish place. All of the waste goes into the Ganga. Just see the difference, that the culture, that difference. Now, I'm not blaming India. I'm not blaming the government. I'm not blaming the people. I'm blaming European culture. That's the main source of this problem, European culture. So the only caution is don't import more European culture. Bring up Vaishnava culture, Bhagavata culture, Leela Nama culture, and use this Sankirtan culture, Vaishnava culture, to destroy that European culture, which is Lokayata. If it's not Lokayata, then why is it destroying Ganga? Why is it in the West? Why are they contaminating the whole planet? They have no respect for Bhumi. It's Lokayata culture. Must be destroyed with the weapon, the atomic bomb of Vaishnav culture. Hare Krishna. 2 minutes over.
Hare Krishna. If any devotees have any questions, devotees can ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for today's class. I just want to know, Sankirtan when the message which I took from your class is Sankirtan will, we can wipe out the Lokayatas by the Sankirtan movement, through the Sankirtan. So if you could tell me a little bit about what kind of Sankirtan, because some devotees are focused on doing Sankirtan on streets, some devotees are focused on doing Sankirtan through book distribution, some devotees are focused on educating them in a step by step in a very different way. And there are some difference of opinions among them also. So how do you, I mean, what is the best way to do wipe out the people? I mean, what can be the...
Yeah, the best way is in an army. So this is a Sankirtan. If we say that Sankirtan is a weapon, then perhaps you can allow me to say this is the Sankirtan army. So in the army, if you look carefully in the army, some people, actually they say that the fighters, the actual soldiers who fight, they're only small percentage. Main army is in the back, supplying the weapons, maybe supplying the books, cooking. They have to cook for all the troops. They have to drive the trucks. They have to do all the necessary functions to support the preachers. I mean the fighters. So this is the Sankirtan army. So what is the best way? The best way is that we have to follow those devotees like Acharya Ratna, like Sham, Radhe Sham Prabhu, like GVCs, Radhanath Swami, Loknath Swami, all Jaiptak Swami, all these generals who are designing strategies for attacking Lokayata with Sankirtan. Then we all participate. Pujaris, everyone, they are all part of the support of this Sankirtan. Okay? Please, somebody give a harder question.
So you told about to change this culture, but practically it seems quite impossible to change the overall culture. You told this like this European culture is imbibed so much.
Quite impossible.
So what is the, like, you're telling correct only that strategies all the GVCs they are making, they are doing, all the devotees they are doing in this Sankirtan movement, but still what do you think is the possibility of happening?
What is the possibility of happening? 100% possibility of happening. We know that it will happen. This is predicted. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement will rise. And I'm saying from history that Lokayata we don't know anything about Lokayata because completely eradicated. The only way we know is that it's criticized by Buddhists and by others. That's the only way we know about Lokayata. Completely gone. So we know in history that happened. We know that from prediction, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement will rise, and I can think of two examples. You use the word impossible. Prabhupada, if you read Prabhupada's Leela, you'll see that Prabhupada says impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. When his disciple told him, Prabhupada said, I want you to publish all some 16, 17 volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita in 1 month, some very short time. And so Rameshwar, he was in charge of BBT. He said, Prabhupada, this will be impossible. Prabhupada said, impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. You do it. And they did it. So that's the first thing. Second thing is we know that story from purport in Bhagavad Gita that one little bird was angry at the ocean for taking her, her eggs. So then she started to take water from the ocean. Then Garuda came. So we are small birds. but we have to attack the ocean of materialism. But there's another ocean, Anandambudhivardhanam. So that ocean of Ananda will replace that dry Ananda that they are getting from sense gratification. Not very difficult question. Please, something, I want something more challenging. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for your wonderful class. Uh, my question is that we are devotees. You are using the modern technologies, the Lokaita cultures. It may affect ourselves also. So, but now in order to preach or somehow or other to sustain our life, this culture is affecting us. So, what is the point? What is the solution of it? That we are the devotees. So, being a Sankirtan movement, we are in the Sankirtan movement. So, we same time we are using this facility and not being affected, and we always put forward those Mahaprabhu's Naam Lila culture.
Yes, I did not get every word, but we are devotees and we are being affected by technology because we use technology. Yes, we are devotees and we are affected by technology because we use technology. No. Because yajna, in the Vedas, from time of Vedas up to present time, yajna is the thing that is purifying. Yajna purifies the sins. So the Jains, they want ahimsa. They want to, they don't want to kill anything. But killing is necessary. I won't get into the idea of Jains, but some of these ancient philosophies, they want to reject Vedas because they don't believe in yajna. But we are followers of Vedanta, we believe in yajna, the power of yajna. Yajna will purify. So by accident, we kill insect, the example is while cooking, something happens, it's unavoidable. We also kill plants, potato. So yajna, that is the way to purify. And what is our yajna? Sankirtan yajna. So in this way, we purify any mistake, any issue. So as long as we're using our technology for Sankirtan yajna, then Jayapataka Swami can fly anywhere. But as soon as somebody who's sitting next to Jayapataka Swami is using that airplane for sense gratification, he is contaminating the earth. That man is contaminating, not Jayapataka Swami. Everyone is saying, all the environmentalists are saying, oh, airplanes are bad, airplanes are bad. Get rid of airplanes. They have no idea about God, how to use everything in service of the Supreme. So although they are flying on the same airplane, Jayapataka Swami is using that airplane for Sankirtan Yajna. Something harder. It's okay. I don't know, we're too late.
Hare Krishna. I mean, I have a long question before that. If suppose all the world, let's say they use all the technology, all the aeroplanes, all the buses in the service of Krishna, for example, suppose, then will the harmful effects of the pollution, water pollution, sound pollution, will all get subsided, or will they be in the same way what we are having? Because they are using for the service of Krishna. So what will happen as a consequence?
People are often fond of what if this, what if that, in the future, what if this happens? Well, what if all of a sudden, just here, the volcano comes and erupts? What will happen? Well, what if this wonderful young man he falls dead in the corner? What if? All right, but still, we're Vaishnavas. As if we progress to this direction, using technology for Krishna and establishing the Leela Nama culture, along with Leela Nama culture, is to learn how to live simply, to depend on our satisfaction from Leela and Nama, and not depend on technology, on exploiting the earth, all natural resources, oil, energy, coming from all this energy that people are so attached to, oil energy, sun energy, wind energy, all this energy. They're worshiping Shakta. They want the Shakti. They want the Shakti, but they ignore the Shaktiman. So attachment to energy, not attachment to Shaktiman. So if we replace this culture, materialistic culture, with Leela Nama culture, there's a different satisfaction in life. People learn to calm down their lust and greed, kama, lobha, for exploitation. They know they don't need to use so much technology. So Prabhupada encouraged us to establish the simple village agrarian life, where we have nice farm, village. So we want to go in that direction. And we have brahmacharis and sannyasis. They teach austerity. In materialistic society, they don't want to learn about how to tolerate nature and be a little austere. They don't know what is tolerating nature. They want to use the oil energy for their comfort. So all these aspects of Vaishnava culture, they will destroy that what if. No, there's no what if we use technology for in all the world for Krishna. But what if? What if that does happen? Which it's not going to happen. After Kurukshetra war, the huge destruction, the dynasties of the world were destroyed. Huge destruction, horrible. War is horrible, but this was huge war. So much destruction. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was so upset. So what was the first thing he did? Yajna. So yajna will solve the problem, even if such a situation exists that somehow we must use technology. But it's like Rasabhas. It's use all technology. It's like saying, be Vaishnava, be a perfect Vaishnava and perfect materialist. Sabhas. It's not mix for me anyway. Maybe you have a better answer.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji will be also giving class today 1 to 2 o'clock. So he'll be explaining on his book. The environmental solution. He has written after 2 years of great research. He has published this book with lot of references and other things, and he has also designed 15-hour course which we can introduce in schools and colleges. So there he has made a course book also, and a teacher's guide also, how to teach this course and all these things. So he'll be speaking about how we can help out to spread Sankirtan culture, Vaishnav culture, and solve this environmental problem. So he'll be giving class at 1 o'clock. So all are welcome. Hare Krishna. We can class will be here Temple Hall. So 1 o'clock at Temple Hall. Okay. Hare Krishna. Some question is there? Done, na? Huh? You had a question? Or 1 o'clock? So all devotees are welcome. 1 o'clock. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. His Grace Dayananda Prabhu ki.